Good afternoon, folks. You're watching the Lisa with the Z podcast. I'm your host, Liza Soler. I want to say thank you, first of all, to everybody for even taking the time to watch this. This is just an idea of mine that I've been working on for quite some time now. And at first, I had my doubts and insecurities about it, but honestly, I have a great group of people in my life. I have great friends, a great family that support me with anything that my heart desires. So, here I am putting myself out there and putting it out into the universe, hoping that it becomes something successful, or it could lead me into a different path. Maybe broadcasting, maybe being a host, or maybe being an interviewer on a show. Who knows? We'll see where this takes me. I'm just being positive vibes, as I usually try to be. So with that being said, this episode is just an introduction of who I am and why I wanted to start this podcast. I am a single mother of two, 32 years old. I am Honduran and Colombian, born in Jersey, raised in Broward County, and I love Broward County. Honestly, it's made me who I am. The tough warrior woman. You gotta know how to live on the streets and, also be educated. So I feel like I'm the best of both worlds. I have a little bit of classiness, and then I also, love the combat sports. I'm a little bit of a tomboy. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the second oldest. So, if you know me and my family, you just don't mess with us. We're all nice. We're a good time, but don't mess with us. We clap back. With that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know I started this podcast because I actually used to blog a lot on my stories when I was going through my early stages of my fitness journey and my weight loss journey. Back in 2018, I started this weight loss journey after I got out of a toxic relationship. And I was about to hit 32, so I was going through a midlife crisis. So it was just that breaking point where you're getting to your lowest and you think that the world is crashing down, but you know what? There's only one way to go up. And I did that. And it has been a up and down battle, but I'm not giving up. And that brings me to where I started it all. I first started seeing this ad on Facebook for this, martial arts, studio, giving a little ad that said, buy a class or 3 classes for $20 and you get a free pair of boxing gloves. And I'm like, free boxing gloves. I like that. But I kind of passed by it and I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's for me. I don't know if I can fight. I was bred to be like in performing arts. Classical piano, I did nothing but sing, dance, act. That was what I was raised to be. Don't get me wrong, I love doing all of that. If you know me, I'm super Disney musical. I'm that Disney mom. I know all the Disney musicals. My friends get annoyed at me if we're in a car, road tripping it. But honestly, I feel like I'm the best of both worlds. I love also combat sports. It's in me. We call her the Phoenix. She's my alter ego. That bitch is crazy. She's crazy. Like, it's like a snap. As soon as I'm in the ring, or if I'm sparring somebody, I'm locked in. I'm looking at you, and it is about to be your death day. Don't step in front of me. Other than that, but I do have a good time, and I've developed so many good friendships in this fight life. So back to the introduction. I will sometimes go off into a whole another world, but one of my good friends, Kevin, actually recommended that I buy that package, and he said that it was a great gym and that he was training there too, so that I should check it out if I wanted to see a change. So I did. I purchased it, and I remember sitting in the parking lot thinking, what are you doing, girl? You're crazy. But I said to myself, you know what? If you don't get out of this car and you don't make this change, you are never going to do it. So I got out of the car and I went in. I was greeted by, everybody at the front desk. And the day of my first initial trial, I was getting trained by Michael O'Connell at the time, who happened to be a great mentor in my life. And he helped me and guided me. He was my first Muay Thai coach. And if I honestly am thankful. I still hear his voice when I gotta throw a kick. Throw that hip in it. Gotta make sure that hip is in there. So if you ever get kicked by me, just know Michael Kano. He labeled that. He helped that. So moving on, I had a short conversation with him, just letting him know what my goals were, and he's like, you know what, just take it one day at a time, and don't try to rush it. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the journey and take it one day at a time. And I did, and I lost like 20 pounds within like 6 to 8 months. I started doing their fight camps. I did 3 of their fight camps actually. After the second one, after the second fight camp, I was featured in a local print of the Sun Sentinel for my fight, and just my overall experience and how much I changed over the couple weeks. The fight camp was designed to give, average Joes like me, the fighter experience of how they go through their fight camps, emotionally, physically, nutrition. We would also have to journal. We would also have to, keep in contact with our coaches to let them know how we were and what our progress were, weights, measurements, weigh-ins and all. And it was a great experience. I ended up meeting one of my best friends now, who is my accountability partner to this day. We still check in with each other. We still keep each other motivated. We've moved on with our lives in different ways, but that connection of the experience is still with us, and it's still with our hearts. And I made such a great fighter fam with them, and I still support them. I still support their coaches, their fighters, and it's something that I'm gonna hold on to for the rest of my life. So if you're looking for a change, it could be anything. You could try tennis, you could try golf, you could try swimming, you could try, I don't care what it is, honestly. You could just go for the CrossFit. Make a change. Take one day at a time. Don't try to rush your journey. You got to take it one day at a time. And I'm a living, breathing, walking, example of it. And I'm very thankful for a lot of people who have helped me along this journey. And don't get me wrong, I am not the slim, I'm not going to be slim. I don't think I'm ever going to be a little thin chick. I've always said to myself, I don't want to be skinny. I want to be comfortable with who I am. I want to be fit. I embrace that I'm Latina and I have curves, and I'm very proud of them. I just want to be fit and healthy and just happy overall with who I am and what I am going to be. And whoever is going to come into my life is going to be accepting of that. And not only accepting of that, but willing to be a part of that process. So I also would like to say I love combat sports, which is going to be a good influence on this podcast. I'm going to be interviewing fighters and coaches, and I'm actually going to have the opportunity to interview with a great inspiration of mine, Mitchell Chamali, who is the CEO of Combat Night. He's such a great person. He inspires so many and honestly guides so many fighters along the way from amateur to pro. I love being in this sport now because it's opened my eyes to a different level of not only just commitment, but hard work and motivation. And I'm so proud of all the people that I have ever met and I'm inspired by. Truly, I am. Right now I'm working in the boxing fighting discipline, and I've been trying to work on that a little bit. Shout out to Coach Eddie Santiago. He really started to develop me here in Wesley Chapel. Shout out to Lights Out. It's my boxing gym that I go to now, and I am just taking this journey one day at a time. I am, and it's not easy, because I'm really building myself in my career. I'm also trying to do this on the side. I'm also raising my children and also, taking care of family members here too. It's a ride. It's a ride for sure, but it's all worth it at the end of the day because nobody else is going to bring my happiness other than me. And so it's worth it. It is. So shout out to everybody that is really tuned in. Thank you for watching. I look forward to great interviews with amazing people, especially about the mental health. I'm going to have a future psychologist slash social worker here, so that way we can discuss those kinds of issues. We're going to talk about politics very briefly. I'm not really big into talking about politics because I feel it's such a touchy subject, but we will talk about other things here, and maybe you'll see my best friend on here. She's very introvert. Well, I've had this conversation with her many times, and I'm definitely gonna have Becca on here because I want people to be aware of, you know, just donating your organs and just living a healthier lifestyle, because honestly that can be able to help somebody else's life in the long run. So with that being said, I'm thankful to everybody. I appreciate this. I'm a little nervous still. I hope that this becomes a thing. And if it doesn't, well, at least I could cross this off my bucket list. Podcast, check. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.